In this video, you are going to learn how to reveal a city model using Blender, just like Fern did in a recent video. And if you want to follow along, all the assets are going to be available for free in the description. Now, let's get into the video. Before we start, let's tweak some of these parameters. First, I'm going to change the render engine from EV to cycles, from supported to experimental, and from CPU to GPU. In the viewport sampling, I'm going to lower it down to 60 and activate denoise and change here from automatic to optics. And here in the render samples, I'm going to use 500. I'm using a higher number of samples because I did a lot of trial and error, and this gave me the best result. I could gotten even better results using a higher number of samples, but I'm trying to keep it simple here. So here in the denoise, change from open image to optics. And then in the color management section, change from filmic to AGX and from none to high contrast. And here in the output properties, I'm going to work with a 1920 by 1080 composition, just because I'm doing a tutorial. If you want even more quality, you can do that. And I'm going to be working with 24 frames per second. The frame range, I'm going to keep it as 170, just because I already know how long the animation would be. But in your case, you might want to experiment a little bit more with this. Then in the output settings, I'm going to choose RGBA, color depth of 8 and compression down to 0. So the first thing that you want to do is press Shift A and mesh and plane, and we want just a standard plane of 2 meters. Then we are going to press G and cell and press Ctrl and lift this up a little bit, just like this. We are going to go to edit mode, press 3 and select this face right here. We are going to press E and extrude this down a little bit to something like this, maybe. Yeah, this looks fine for me. So let's go out of edit mode and we will have this. So now let's texture it. And for that, you have to lift this up and change from the timeline to the shader editor and make a new material. I'm going to name this material brick floor, and now I'm going to select the principled BSDF and press Ctrl Shift T. And if this doesn't happen, you just have to go here to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and select the node type here, Node, and you will get Node Wrangler. You have to tick this and then say Preferences right here. And now you will be able to do this. So select the principled BSDF and press Ctrl Shift T and go to the assets that I left in the description. Then select Stone Bricks, this right here, and select everything but this image right here. And then press this button. And you have something like this. In my case, I'm not going to tweak anything else here, but the scale right here. So in the mapping section, you want to go here to the scale, select the x-axis and then drag your mouse down and then to the left to decrease the scale. In my case, I'm going to use a -5 scale to start, but we will tweak this later. So this looks fine for me. One problem here is that this part is stretching, but we can solve that pretty easy. Just go to edit mode and select everything pressing A. And now press U and select here cube projection, and you'll have something like this, and it looks way better right now. I selected cube projection because this is basically a cube that has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. So it's pretty easy to just select cube projection and that's it. Now that we did that, go to the assets that I left in the description and select this Gothic city right here and import. In my case, I downloaded the GLB file, so import GLTF, and we will have this big thing right here. Before doing anything, just go here, press that on your numpad, and you will see, let's go to the material preview, and you will see that this asset has like these kind of strokes right here. And the good thing about these strokes is that you can actually select them and just delete them. So in this case, you have to do that. It's not always like this. So just go where you see these kinds of lines and just delete them. And then I'm going to cut this until I have removed all of these strokes right here. like this. Okay, so I removed almost everything, so now you just have to press 3 in my case, and then go to X-ray view and just select everything here. Now press 7 on your numpad and go back to the solid view, and then if you press S, it's going to scale from that point. So to fix that, you have to click here and select 3D cursor. So now we are going to scale from the 3D cursor, okay, from almost the center of the composition. So press S again, and now G, and you want to center this, maybe scale it up, G, S. Okay, so something like this is fine. Now press G, Z, and Control again, and we will have this right here. So now you can select this and go back to the default, which was the median point. And as you can see, we have the city over this plane right here, and it looks good. So the scale right here is kind of messy. Like, it looks good because it's kind of just a model, but if you think from the perspective of this city, like these bricks right here are super big. So to fix that, you have to go to the material and just do the same as we did before, but just scale it down a little bit less to something like this. Let's put this to -20 and let's see if that's better. That's actually better. And now we generated another problem, and it's that from this distance, and it's where the camera is going to be looking, we have a lot of repetition right here. Like, we can clearly see that this is not good. So to fix that, you have to expand this part right here and press Shift A and add a Voronoi texture. And this is just one method to do this that I learned from Ryan Art King. Shout out to him. So you just have to add this Voronoi texture and change here from Euclidean to Manhattan, and then plug the object to the vector and the color to the rotation. And we will generate these random rotations, and now it looks ugly, but it's because of the scale. So if we increase the scale, now it looks more natural. So let's do a 25 scale right here, and now this looks good, like from this angle, for example. It doesn't look like it's repeating. And if we get closer, yeah, it looks a little bit weird, but it's still like possible. It's like good. You know? So yeah, this is just one method to do this. Or you can just keep the -5 scale and it will be fine, because I think the viewer will understand that this is like a city model, it's not like an actual city. But yeah, just keep that in mind. In my case, I just did this. Now let's do the rest of the scene. So I'm going to press Shift A and Mesh and Plane. I'm going to add another plane and I'm going to make it big, something like this. And I'm going to scale it in the y-axis also, something like this. And I'm going to press GX to move it a little bit more, and this should be fine. We will tweak this later. And also don't forget to press Ctrl A and apply the scale of this object. In this case, like, this object doesn't need us to apply the scale, but it's fine. So the other thing that you want to do is go to edit mode and press 2 to select the lines, and select this line right here, and press E, Z to make a wall right here. So we made this wall. And now to texture this, we are going to add another texture. So we are going to lift this up and press new and create a new material. And this material is going to be called like concrete material. And this is fine. And now let's do the same as we did before. Just click on the principled BSDF, Ctrl Shift T, and select another material from the assets that I left in the description. In this case, the concrete here. So just go here and select everything but this. So press Ctrl to deselect this, and then click this button, and you have this asset right here, and it looks super weird, but don't worry. So I don't think I'm going to tweak anything here. I think the strength, I want the strength to be 5 right here, and the UV thing, I want to press 7 and just select this face right here and press U and project from view, and that's it. We don't need to do a lot more. And then go here to the scale, and we want to lower the scale a lot. And let me press this. And yeah, we want to lower the scale. Like this is fine. -50. And let's see from this angle. Yeah, it looks good. Maybe -70. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this looks great. Okay, so now once we have the floor, we want to go to edit mode and select this wall right here, and we want to give it a new material. So we are going to press here, go to the material properties, press this plus button and create a new material, and then assign it right here. And we are going to make this material black, and that's it. That's everything that we want to do. And this is our setup right here. And the other thing that we want to do is like the actual table for this model right here. So now just press Shift A, mesh and cube, and we have this cube. And now S to scale it down, and S and Z to scale it up on the y-axis. And I think this is fine. Okay, so now press 7 on your numpad and G and something like this. I think it's fine. And GZ, and we want this to be close. Yeah, something like this. And I think, let me see from this angle. Yeah, this is good. So now what you want to do is, first of all, Control A and apply the scale. And then you want to go to the modifiers tab, add modifier, and add a mirror modifier. And here in the mirror object, just select this object and go to the plane right here, and we'll have this. Okay, so now you want to add another mirror modifier, and then select again this plane right here and just play with the axis. In this case, I just have to change the axis from X to Y, and we will have this perfectly symmetrical table or thing like this. These things right here. So now to make everything easier, you have to apply the modifiers. So now this is actual geometry, and press right click and set origin to geometry, and that's it. This is now one object. So the other thing that you want to do is press 7 on your numpad and then press Shift A and mesh plane, and you want to make a plane that is slightly bigger than our base plane. So something like this should be fine. G, Z, Control, and something like this. And now press again G, Z, and Shift to move it more slowly. And we don't need that. So something like here, you want to put this a little bit below the middle, the actual middle. So we have this. So now press 7 again on your numpad and go to edit mode. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if you want like the viewport to look like this with a lot of different colors, you want to go here to the shading right here and change from material like here to random, and you will have this. Okay, so as I was telling you, just press 7 on your numpad and now go to edit mode and press I to make an inset, and just inset right here. So you want this to match with our plane. Now press 3 and select this face right here and just delete it. Delete faces. So yeah, now we have this object, and this object is just this part right here. So now go back to edit mode, pressing tab, press A, and now press E to extrude. and you want something, sorry, I'm going to see that from this angle, something like this, and press E to extrude. Yeah, something like this, I think is fine. So now deselect everything and go to the X-ray view, and you want to see this is our main plane right here. So now you want to make a loop cut, so Ctrl R, and you want like this middle loop cut. So press left click and then align this with our plane, or maybe even lower, and something like this. You want this to be in the middle, like this. Perfect. So now go back to solid view, and nothing changed obviously. So now we have this, and we need to go back to edit mode and just start selecting these faces right here. So this, and then shift click this, yeah, you want to select all these bottom faces, and there you go. Now you just assign a material here, and assign, and you want to name this material like basic material. That's good. And now you want to select the other faces, like these ones. Shift click to select right here, and also these faces right here. Okay, there you go. Now make a new material, new, and assign, and I'm going to make this black just so you can see what we are doing here, and I'm going to name this material glass. There you go. Now go back to object mode. Oh, I forgot to select this face. So select this face right here, select the material and assign, and there you go. So now we have this. I'm going to apply like this basic material to these things right here. And I want this material to be maybe gray, something like this. It's fine, so you don't want like a fully white thing. And now this material, the glass material, as you can see, it's not glass yet. So go up and delete the principal BSDF and add a mix shader, sorry, and then Shift A and add a glossy BSDF and a refraction BSDF right here, and also a Fresnel input Fresnel. And now these IORs, you want to change it to 1.5, and the same with this IOR. And now you plug this to the factor, and this right here, and this right here, and then this right here, and you have like a glass material. I think it's in reverse, like this. Yeah, now it looks good. So it has to look like this. So this is our glass material. It doesn't look like glass while we are here in the material preview, but once we put lights and all the stuff in the render view, it's going to look like actual glass. So this is our setup. So yeah, we did it. So now comes the, and I'm making this because now comes the really hard part, and it's making the cloth simulation, which is not hard, but it's a little bit tricky, you know. So go back to object view, and before anything, like select this right here and GY and control, and just move it like this. You want to select everything, so go to the X-ray view and just select everything. And now you want to make a copy, so press Shift D, X, Control, and you want to move it there. So now with all of this selected, you have to press right click and new collection, and you want to move all of this to the new collection like this. So now you have to hide this collection and also check this right here so it doesn't appear in the render, and also name this collection security copy. Okay, and just hide this. And we did that just so we can go back to X-ray view and select everything here and press Ctrl J. So now this is just one object, as you can see. But in case we mess up, we still have the security copy right here. So let's bring back this background. I think it was right here. And now we want to press 7 on your numpad, press Shift A, mesh plane, and scale it so it's bigger than our model. And GZ, and you want to scale it up. Lift it up so it's above everything. And maybe scale this up a little bit more, and Ctrl A, apply scale. And now you want to go to the modifiers tab, add modifier, and shrink wrap modifier. And here in the target, select the city. Okay, so we have, oh, sorry, I forgot a very important step, which is subdivide this thing. So go to object mode and select everything right here and right click and then subdivide. And to do it a bunch of times you have to press Shift R. So you subdivide it until you just see a lot of like a orange thing right here. You want a lot of geometry for this. So we have this, then in the target select this object right here, and we will have this ugly thing right here. So this we want to maintain that as it is, but we want to maybe scale this object a little bit more. So we want this to cover everything right here, and also the offset you want to increase it, so you want this to cover everything. So as you can see we have this thing right here, so that means we have to scale it up even more, and I think that's it. So this is 0 offset. As you can see we have these things right here, so we don't want that. And now everything is covered by this. So once we have everything covered right here, we want to apply the skin wrap modifier, apply. Maybe lift this up a little bit, something like this. And now we want to go to edit mode and press right click, and now you want to unsubdivide. So press unsubdivide and Shift R a bunch of times, and you want to do this until it starts looking bad. So yeah, when you see this, you press Ctrl C, and now you have this. So this very low poly version of the surface of the city. So you want this. Now another thing that you want to do is press Shift A, mesh and cube, and let's scale this cube a little bit and press GZ. So we want something like this. And now let's go to edit mode, press 3 to select the faces, and you just want to delete these faces, like the upper part. And also this is optional, but A dot. I got lost. So yeah, this bottom part right here, also delete that faces, and you have this. And this is because you will see why. Okay, so press 7 again. Now press Shift A, mesh plane, S, and you want to scale this up. This is fine, GZ, and you want to lift this somewhere right there. Like you want this to be very close to the tip right here. And now you want to go to edit mode, you want to press right click and subdivide, and now click this thing right here, and you want something like 20 subdivisions. So not a lot, but it's fine. You want these 20 subdivisions, okay? So now go here to the physics tab and select this plane right here, and you want to add cloth right here. So here in the cloth you want to press this button right here, and you have a lot of different presets. In my case I'm going to use silk. And then the important thing is that you go down here and go where it says shape right here, so it's going to appear like this. You just click here on shape, and then where it says collision, in the quality you want to increase this to 5, and then you want to go here where it says self collisions, and you want to check check these self collisions. So now that you have this, you have to select these objects right here. So this low poly model right here, you want to go to physics and add a collision right here, and don't change anything, just add a collision. And here also you want a collision. Now go here to the timeline and make sure that you are on the first frame and just press play. And in this case, so that's the cloth physics. In this case, it's sliding, so you can do a couple things to solve that. So yeah, this is low poly, let's address that. So you just have to go to the modifiers, add a subdivision surface modifier, and 2 is fine for me. Then go to shade smooth, and 2 is fine for me, but I'm going to keep the subdivisions for the viewport in 1, but in the render it's going to end up as 2. Okay, so I think it's because the geometry right here, it's making the cloth go crazy, so you just have to do this again until it works. So just press Shift A, mesh plane, GZ, S, Control A, apply the scale, and now go back, and you have to do the same. So shrink wrap, select this right here. Oh, sorry, I forgot to add more subdivisions. So go to edit mode, right click, subdivide, and Shift R. I'm going to make it a bunch of times, and then click right here, increase the offset S. So maybe increasing the offset to 100 will work, so this part is more smooth maybe. So yeah, let's apply this, and now Control A, apply scale, and go to edit mode, right click, unsubdivide, and you want to unsubdivide a bunch of times, somewhere right here, reset a little bit. Okay, so now let's add a modifier, a physics collision, and let's just try this again, and let's see if that works. Yeah, it works. Okay. So I think we can make the cloth bigger. I told you we should have to, we just have to make it again. So I'm making the cloth bigger and applying the scale, and maybe I'm going to move this right here, and let's see again. Yeah. So this is what we wanted. So here, as you can see, it's going through the floor. So let's go back and let's select the floor and apply a collision also. And let's run the simulation. And yeah, we have this. So this is good enough. Now, how do we pull the cloth like the Fern video? That's the question right here. So you have to go until the cloth starts coming down and you add a marker. Now, wherever this happens, you have to go here to where you are and add, in my case, 120, and let's make the end 220. So then go 50 frames and then add another marker by pressing M, and those are the only markers we need. Maybe we want another marker here in the 215th frame. So now here in the frame 150. So first, let's go to the frame 1, select your plane and go to edit mode and go to X-ray view, and you want to see where the tip of the model is. So this section right here, so press 3 and select these faces, or maybe just this face right here, Now go to 1 to select the vertices right here. And now you have to go here to the data properties, and here in vertex group, you want to add a new vertex group and name this hook or whatever you want, and press assign. So now these vertex are assigned to our, this vertex group. So another thing that you want to do in this case is, here we have this selected. So now press Shift S and cursor to selected, so the 3D cursor is right here. That will be very useful in the future. And now as select your cloth, go here to the physics tab, go down, and here in shape where it says pin group, select our hook right here that we did recently, the vertex group. You just have to select that right here where it says pin group. So now when we run the simulation, again, it's not noticeable in this example, but we are holding the cloth from this vertex group. That's what is happening. So now go to the frame 150 where you want to lift the cloth, and now press Shift A and let's add an empty and plane axis. Something like this. Let's scale that down, and now select the cloth again, go to the modifiers, add modifier, and add a hook modifier. Yeah, and where it says object, just select the empty, and where it says vertex group, select our hook. And this hook modifier, you want to put it above the cloth modifier. So now select this empty right here and go to the object properties and make a keyframe here on the seed location. And now go to the frame 250, so the next marker, and you want to lift this up a lot. So GZ and somewhere right here, and make another keyframe. And now press T, select select all of these, T, and press linear. So now if you repeat the simulation, so now the cloth comes down, and now we make this. There you go. Maybe I don't want this to be linear, so let's make it Bezier again. And let's run the simulation again. And we will see now we lift this. Let's go. So maybe I don't want this to be super. Maybe right here it's fine. Make another keyframe. Oh, sorry, I don't want this. Go to this keyframe, GZ, somewhere right here, and make another keyframe. And now we can see we'll lift this up right here. So that's how we do it. So now, if we want to proceed, you want to select the cloth again and go to the physics tab and go back where it says cache. This is where the simulation starts and ends, and it's going to start from the frame 1 and it's going to end in the frame 220, so the same as our composition. And now we are going to press here bake, and it's going to bake our simulation. Okay, so it baked our simulation. It's pretty fast for this example. And now the magic thing is that we can remove these objects or just hide them. Here, as you can see, I'm hiding them from the viewport, but also from the render view. And now, as you can see, it still works, and we don't need to run the simulation again. It just exists. So now in the frame 100, I'm going to place myself in the frame 100, and I'm going to start the animation from the frame 100. Hey, if you want to do 3D animations like Fern, Lemino, or Imperial, but you don't know a lot about 3D editing, then I have something for you. I'm planning a course that will teach you the step-by-step how to do these types of animations, from coming up with an idea to bringing it out to life, all while receiving feedback from me and 3D enthusiasts just like you. So if you want free early access to this course, you can join the waiting list by using the link in the description. Now, back to the video. So that's basically it. Now, let's texture this plane right here, because now it's just white. So first I want to add a modifier, and I'm going to collapse all of this, and I'm going to add a solidify modifier, so this has a little bit of thickness, and here in the thickness we want 5 zeros before the 1. It's a very thin cloth, but it still has some thickness, you know, so 2 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 zeros. We want 5 zeros. So this is very thin. And now let's add a texture. So let's go here to the shader editor and press new. And I'm going to name this fabric. texture. And now let's do the same as we did before. Ctrl Shift T and select this texture right here that I left in the description. Fabric, plain natural shear, and select everything but this image right here and click this button and you have this. I'm going to decrease the scale a little bit, something like this, -5, and we will have something like this. And now to make it more transparent, you just have to go here to the principled BSDF. Here in the subsurface, I'm going to increase it a little bit to 0.4, and in the alpha I'm going to decrease it to 0.6. So now it's like a transparent fabric with this texture, and that's what we wanted. So we have basically the basic setup. Now we should start with the animation. So first of all, I'm going to change this to the timeline and I'm going to add a camera. I think a camera from this view it's fine, so Shift A, camera, and Control Alt 0, and then 0 again, and you want to add another tab right here. Press 0 on your numpad here. Let's close this and let's go to the camera properties and go here to the viewport display and increase the passport to 1. Then I'm going to change the focal length of the camera to 35, and I'm also going to add some depth of field here in the object. I'm going to select this object right here, and I'm going to decrease the f-stop to 1.2, and that's it. And let's go to the object properties, and I'm going to put this to 0, and the Z rotation to 90, and the X rotation to 90, and that's it. And now I'm going to press Shift S, and cursor to world origin, so the 3D cursor is right here, and I'm going to press Shift A, empty, and sphere, and GZ S, and I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to select the camera and go here to the constraints, add constraint and track to, and here in the object select the empty, and now the camera is going to be looking at the empty at all times. So let me move the camera right now, GZ twice, going to get somewhere close, GX twice, something like this, GZ like this, and GX like this, GZ, and now I'm going to move this a little bit, GZ also, so the frame looks a little bit better, GZ, yeah, something like this, GY, and now the camera, GY, yeah, this looks already good. So I'm going to make a keyframe for the location of the camera right here, and also I'm going to make a keyframe for the location of this empty right here. And now I'm going to go to the end of the composition, and now I'm going to move the camera and also the empty. So GZ twice, so I want to get really close, and GZ again, I want like this view right here, GX, GZ, yeah, and now let's add keyframes right here, and also the empty, GZ, sorry, GX, and GZ, and this should be good, GZ twice here, and yeah, I'm going to add keyframes right here, and I'm also going to add keyframes here, and let's make this linear, so linear right here, and for the camera T linear again. So now we have this camera movement right here. Let's see, let's go. So yeah, it looks better, it looks good, sorry. So now let's work on the lighting. So I'm going to have the camera set up right here, and I'm going to add Shift A, light, and spotlight. GZ, I'm going to lift this up a little bit, and GX, sorry, GY, and GX, yeah, I want something like this. So now going to press 1, R, going to move it right here. 3R again, and move it right here. So now the light is pointing right here. R twice, somewhere right there. And I'm going to go to the data properties and I'm going to increase this to 3500 and the radius to 1.5. Should be good. And let's increase the spot size to 50, just a little bit. Now press 7 on your numpad and press Shift D, and let's make a light somewhere right here. And I'm going to lower this down also and make it go right here. And let's change this light to a point light, and I'm going to make the power 500 and the radius to 2, and this is going to be our fill light. And now I'm going to press Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift A, mesh plane, RY90, and now I'm going to press GX, something like this. I'm going to make this big. Oh shit, 0, R set, a little bit like this, and I'm going to apply a material right here, and I'm going to name this material bounce, and I'm going to make the base color super white and the roughness to 0, and this is not going to be visible, it's just so the light bounces a little bit more right here. So let's see how it looks from the render view, and let's see if we have to tweak some of this stuff. So let's go here, let's hide the overlays with this button, and let's change to the render view. Okay, so I think this is the first frame, right? Okay, I think I want the camera, or maybe this, to be a little bit up, something like this, and let's make a keyframe. So this is right, and let's see the position of this, 7, my numpad, and yeah, just want like a basic fill light, something like this, and maybe I want this a little bit further, something like this, looks fine. 1, R, 3, let me hide this just for a second, and R again, and let's bring this back. Yeah, so this is fine. Let me maybe decrease this to 45. Okay, so let me go to this frame and hide the cloth right here. I'm going to name it cloth. And let me hide this just so I can see the lighting right here. Or maybe this. Yeah, I'm just tweaking the light so I have a good result right here. I want to decrease the power right here, 450. Yeah, okay, so it looks better. Let me increase the color right here, something subtle like this, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, so let me go to the last frame and also change a little bit the camera position. So yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of tweaking right here, just so we have a better composition at the end. Maybe more power right here, sorry. Okay, so now I think this looks good. So we can see, oh sorry, I forgot to here, sorry, here. Okay, so I think that's it. Let me show you how to render this. So go here to the output settings and select a folder where you will want the final frames of the animation to be saved, and then press render here and render animation, and at the end you should have something like this. So it's a bunch of frames of your animation. So now to make this a video, you have to go here to the plus icon, video editing, and select video editing, and you have something like this. So now press Shift A, image sequence, and go to the folder where you saved your the frames of your animation, and press A, and start frame it's 1, and the end frame is going to be, the start frame is going to be, in my case, 55, and the end frame is going to be 170. And this is because while I was practicing, I started the animation at the frame 55. In this case, I started the animation at the frame 100. So yeah, it's just tweaking that until you get the best result. So I'm going to add image strip, and let me set the start to 55 and the end to 170. And let's go to the beginning, and I will have this animation. So as you can see, if you can see right here, the cloth is like almost shaking or something like that. And that's why I told you that you need like more samples than usual. This is with 500 samples, but I did another version of this. So let me show you. So yeah, I did another version of this with 200 samples, and as you can see, it's shaking a lot more. So with maybe something like 1,000 samples, it's going to work better. And now to render this, you just have to go here to the output and select a folder where you will want your final animation, and change from PNG to FFmpeg video, and change the encoding from Matroska to MPEG-4, and here the output quality from medium quality to high quality, and now go here and render animation. So this is the final result. If you like this video, you'll probably like this one. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.